Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is DB333, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, The New Order Last Days of Europe as Novosibirsk. In our last video, we took out the Anarchist, the Black Army, we took out Krasnoyarsk, I believe, or Roitia, and we're really just waiting at this point to go after the PRC. Because that's really everyone who remains right now, really. It's them and them alone. So, we're preparing. I think it's just going to be quicker to just take them over. That's what I'm thinking. Do we want to try to loot them first? That's a little excessive, I think. A true Republic of Finland. Okay. Let's see who's in charge of Komi. My man Boris, hell yeah. Shout out to Boris. Okay, let's go ahead and maintain the Trans-Siberian Railway. Trans-Siberian Railway serves as an artery of the region, a vital connection between the most critical cities and towns to continued operation of our government. Letting it fall into disrepair would more than simply be a mistake, as it could be fatal to our plans. The ease of transport for our soldiers and support for our supply lines vanishing if it falls too deeply into disrepair. What's more, much of the economy, both local and national, is dependent on the continued success of the railway. We must immediately set about repairing those parts of it in need and restoring it to peak condition, as well as maintaining it well into the future, ensure it does not fall into a similar situation. Sounds legit to me. We'll go and do that. Yeah, we have negative process for PRC. So I think it's just going to be quicker to take him over. Though I'm curious if someone wanted to do a Novosibirsk no war reunification challenge. You probably could do that, right? I can totally see you doing it. If you wanted to. For now, we'll just save up on PP. We'll implement worker concessions, get discontent down to low. Let's see how everything is going. Everything's going pretty well. Industrial tools especially. Agricultural, that's going pretty slow. We might want to boost that last, honestly. Let's go ahead and march these guys in. There we go. Jolly-o, mates. Jolly-o, governor. Boy, mate, you got a license for that Civil War? Look at working more artillery, because I know we're probably going to need that. More close air support. Speaking of close air support, let's go ahead. Well, that's out of our range, actually. We can't send him. We cannot send him over. Alas. What happens to Dream Deferred? That's the real question, isn't it? We'll take the capital. Is that enough to take him out? No, not quite. Actually, they still got a ways to go. Let's stamp out the embers. There exists in the heart of every Siberian the flames of rebellion and idealism. Bukharin, for all his failures as the leader of the Soviet Union, has become the Siberian Prometheus. Arising from the ashes of the communist state are thinkers versed in ideological debate and discipline. Inciters of ideals and violence, carriers of fire and innovation. The CSR, the culmination of this blazing passion, shattered as soon as the wind blew against the course of their destination. From our sanctuary in the hearts of Siberia, the Federation marched out, triumphing over the remnants of the Central Siberian Republic. For here we shall say, no to the brutality of idealism, no to the senseless waste of ideology. No, we say, to the fire that is burnt around us, within us, as the soles of our boots fall upon the last streaks of embers. The days past and future are gone. There exists only the present. Oh, we can scavenge for loot. Beautiful. Loot, loot. Up, we got the fucking fascist. Okay. Yeah, these guys... is that a helicopter division? Oh my god, they have a fucking airborne division. What the fuck? Cheers, mate. Probably won't be able to do an encirclement, actually. How about you try to sneak over and take this VP? You pin them there. You pin them there. Stamping out the embers. And now we just kind of gotta wait. Which, lets us save a bit more political power. And also, that's fine on my end, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, fuck. They took back their capital. That's annoying. Wait. Oh. You fools. You absolute buffoons. Heh. What dinguses. I can't believe they fell for the oldest trick in the book. It was a simple operation, see? Didn't even cost us ammunition, nothing. Not that we weren't using essentially the same rifles. All we had to do was fiddle with the uniforms we bought off the drug men. When you do conscription in a crime paradise, sooner or later everything in your damn army is going to have a price. Easier purchase the infiltration unit ever did. So we just rode a convoy, well, appropriated, hijacked, whatever you like, straight into enemy lines. And we had the merchant clothing and gear at the time, right? A little bribery and a meaningful gesture to the local house of good fortune, and, well, we were in business and speeding into the factory lines. As it turned out, we didn't even need passports, so you can tell that egghead, that he's not even getting any of our vodka rations tonight. A little barking in the local dialect, and we had the goddamned managers lapping at our feet. They really were scared, though. Novosibirsk really ain't churning out good people these days. Who would have thought the criminal city would make rotten soldiers? A little marching back and forth, and our coffers were all filled up. Then we had them all lined up in the square, threw a bunch of paperwork at the head of production, and we just left them in the snow. Best part of it was, we'd apparently been far better requisitioners than the last bunch who roughed them up. I hear we got a commendation letter before they realized the goods were going to Kizel. Anyway, total success. Brilliant, hero of the Soviet Union, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you'll excuse me, I hear there's a whorehouse in town I can spend my promotion bonus on. Wait, we got conned by a bunch of Mongolians? Excuse me? Well, it's not going to matter, I think. As soon as... yeah, if we take the capital, I think we're good, right? Oh, let's unpause. I mean, so far, so good. Oh, not quite enough. Yeah. What, 2K versus not many? If we take Altai, we might be good. Nope. Fuck. They are nothing if not aggressive and resilient. Give the Mongolians that. The last slots were of home and the people that they loved. We'll go ahead and integrate Tuva. New agricultural methods. We'll do both of these. The Red Army of the so-called People's Revolutionary Council has been defeated, and the vast territories of Tuva and Mongolia are now under the protection of the Federation. Administrating these new conquests has already been the subject of fierce debate within the government, however. President Patrishkin, unsurprisingly, advocates for a simple process of annexation into the Federation as a regular territory, which would encourage the centralization of authority, but some argue that the federally administered territories are stretched thin enough as it is, and adding new lands on top of that would only compound matters. The influential Mayor Barnal, Vasily Shukshin, has put forward a different proposal altogether. He believes that would be necessary to form a new republic within the Federation's borders, the Federal Republic of Tuva. Not only was to make integration a more painless affair, but also go to great lengths towards discouraging separatism. Final say, of course, lies with the President. We'll do a new republic, I guess. And then finally, a Sovereign Heartland. Silence reigned where the noise and din of the marketplace once ruled, where merchants from faraway lands come to haggle their goods in the bazaars of the thought that were once a Siberian Central Siberian Republic. Now their stalls lie upturned on the gravel streets. Their contents upturned on the gravel streets. Their contents gathered at the pyre, waiting for a single match stroke. The Narniks, communist, anarchist ideals, Rurikids, all are priests of false gods masquerading as an intent of human innovation improvement. Nothing they offer could enlighten a person to his sovereignty. Their noise and din offer nothing but flirtations with the meaningless. The Federation has embraced with silence. Where ideas had once been worshipped, we have dragged the idols of these ersatz divinities and cast them out. There is nothing noble in idealism. The act of believing in a higher ideal does not render one a paragon. The brutality of ideologies is over, and sovereignty reigns alone, supreme. So if we want to, we can form the Siberian Central Republic right now. Which, do we want to do that? I'm kind of leaning towards hold off on that for a second. There we go. Vasily Shukshin rubbed the temples as he stared down a blank-faced paper. He found time to indulge in his artistic side since becoming Mayor Barnal, and usually spent the quieter moments trying to catch up to the flurry of novel ideas in his mind. His mind would manifest during work hours. Sometimes, however, even his passions would prove frustrating, as Shukshin spent the past hour and a half debating how to actually start this particular piece. Laying his pen aside, Shukshin sighed as he reached for his drink. Before his hands could even touch the glass, a phone rang and shattered the melancholy silence in his office. So much for the drink, he thought. Shukshin here. I hope you got good news for me. It's Kirchenko. Your proposal about Vatuvan Republic? It went through. Shukshin's eyes went wide. It was not the outcome he was expecting. Really? I'm surprised Pakrishkin let it happen. This is good news. Indeed, you should probably come down here and make an announcement before he takes all the credit. Very well, I'll see you soon. Shukshin sighed off. He placed the phone back. After a brief moment to regain his thoughts, he glanced once again at the empty paper on his desk. Shukshin's writings would have to wait once again. He had a flight to catch. The priorities of the real world. To my last breath, to be faithful to the people, the Soviet motherland, and the workers' peasant government. It felt like only yesterday he was swearing that oath. Graduating at as one of many in some nameless training facility in Ukraine. He had been young then, naive and impressionable. Doing his patriotic duty of the state before the Winter War in Barbarossa, before the fall of Moscow, and the long march across the Urals. What a fucking joke. The army had been betrayed, self-sabotaged at every turn by politicians and secret police who had no idea what they were doing. Officers arrested for disobeying suicidal orders, NKVD flunkies second-guessing every move, men wasted in futile counterattacks and reckless offensives, all headed by a man who seemed more interested in moving cities in Siberia than leading a nation at war. Now here was a remnant of a Red Army. Rumors were going around that the Federation's armed forces were offering to take in anyone willingly. Ultimately, the decision of becoming a civilian in a foreign land or enlisting in an army not in service of failed ideology was an easy choice to make. I solemnly swear. There we go. Let's go ahead. Add some more artillery to these guys. There we go. 20 wits. We'll get the Sovereign Heartland. It was a triumphant occasion. Crowds of cheering citizens greeting the conquerors of Central Siberia. Exuding pride and confidence, the Air Force flying overhead, Shukshin was supposed to be celebrating, mingling with the Solovsky in the corporate suits. Yet, as he watched the soldiers march through Novosibirsk streets, all he could feel was apprehension. Pushkin meant well, that much was obvious, but he could see the divide between the two of them was growing with every passing day. Barnaul and his native Altai seemed even more alien compared to the corruption and apathy in the Federation's capital. As the mayor watched the acrobatics display of the Siberian air fleet, he couldn't help but think something had to give. So here is the new tree. Okay. We got economy, all good stuff to get working on. All Siberian army, geopolitical future. We can choose between Japan and America. Well, first let's go ahead and form the Siberian Central Republic. Yeah. What began as a large splinter faction of CSR in the days of its decline has now managed to claim the mantle. The state of Novosibirsk, led by Alexander Pushkin, has had a turbulent history. The rival government was formed as a violent backwater. Measures taken during the Siberian War maintained an uneasy coexistence with the city-state of Barnaul. Soon, though, it managed to overcome its political challenges by utilizing the large population, agricultural base, and industry, and turned to the expansion and reunification of Central Siberia. This has obviously succeeded. The last enemies have been defeated, and Pushkin now rules as a benevolent despot of the region. The linchpin of Russia has been united. There we go. So let's see the economy screen. We'll cut civilian spending. We're not going to want to cut military spending because I know what's going to happen very shortly. Well, let's get working on some better weapons. We'll do sport weapons first. They call him the father. Yeah, nothing but nonsense. Independence for the Algerian Union. Okay. That's a nice flag. I haven't seen that before, but that is nice. Well, what do we want to do? Let's do the Siberian economy. Our consolidation of Central Siberia has opened up to us the vast wealth and potential that lies within Siberia. Siberia contains the potential to become one of the foundations of a strong Russian state, one that will extend its might from the Pacific to Moscow. In order to properly realize Siberia's potential, we must leverage our already impressive industrial base to exploit the wealth of a region. With the help of national champions, our economic growth will truly be frightening to behold. There we go. Oh. Are these guys back? No, they're not. Okay, I thought as much. The popularity of radical ideologies will decrease. Yeah, we'll encourage some political thought. Just kind of hope these end up going down a bit. Alright, Israel won with Begin. In the frenzied push to reunify Siberia and restore it to its rightful dignity, a whisper has grown. As the light is again purchased, so too has our shadow, festering up upon the incoherent cruelty in our actions. It waited for the moment to strike. Today it emerged from the dark, boldly declaring, I was, I am, I will be. Workers across the Central Siberian industrial zones have begun a massive coordinated general strike, citing continuing poor conditions, unfulfilled promises, and unrepentantly cruel cruelty by bosses. It appears that the drive to return civilization to the Russian ways has come with many drawbacks, and the lofty dreams of united Russia become less alluring when one cannot feed his family or keep all of his limbs intact. Additionally, with the return of normalcy to the region, the worker himself seems to become less valuable, simply a pawn towards the eventual goal. Already, Rourke has ground to a halt, demands are being made, and old scores are being settled. While some in our government may be sympathetic to the cause of strikers, it is undeniable that we cannot tolerate a crippled economy, especially considering the already precarious position of Russia. The strikes are numerous and militant, and unless we can come to some sort of deal and show our workers some tangible piece of prosperity we promise, we must brace for the storm to come. Harrowing. There goes Richard Nixon. Uh-oh. The severity of this general strike has expanded into entirely new dimensions. Following lack of progress towards any kind of resolution and continuous violence, the workers have taken up arms. Raiding weapon stockpiles, looting old cellars, and outright stealing has become widespread as arms and ammunition begin to be passed along militants. Already workers are organizing themselves into general defense committees. This is an extremely dangerous situation, and the specter of uprising hangs in the air. We must trend more carefully than we ever have before, while at the same time moving as quickly as possible to secure ourselves. If we do not act, this could be the end of things. Bastards. Okay, they're sieging down Novosibirsk. So we'll do a fallback line. Surround the region. Another free military factory. We'll get that towards more guns. Pokrishkin and Langemak, as well as numerous faceless accountants, corporate leaders, and other bean counters, had gathered around a great table of polished wood long ago liberated from Soviet high command. Gentlemen, began Langemak, reading from a set of hastily scrawled notes that he clutched in his hands. We now stand at a rare and opportune moment in history. Central Siberia now rightfully belongs to us. With Siberia comes our vast resources. Till now we've lacked the infrastructure and heavy machinery to exploit them, but this has changed. Langemak paused for a moment, allowing himself a breath, and for the information to set into the brains of those assembled. With our hold over Central Siberia secured, we can now begin to collect what Mother Russia has seen fit to bless with us. Myself and President Pokrishkin have discussed at length a plan to see us all enriched, both the state and the corporations. My President, I yield the honor to you. Thank you, Minister of Economics. Siberia is a land laden with petrol, natural gas, gold, diamonds, iron, and coal. Billions, if not trillions of rubles of resources lie beneath the earth. I'm not malicious to mince words, so here's my proposal. We, the government, will subsidize all mining extraction operations in exchange for a percentage of materials to be negotiated on an individual basis. Together, we will transform the Federation from just another warlord state into an economic juggernaut and profit in the process. All I ask from you is your help. It was not long before voices were raised in rousing affirmation. Let's put Bukharin to shame. Let's advance some development subsidies. Some infrastructure and some building slots. Alright, let's do... God, the industry stuff looks great. What next? Let's do... Fuck. The Victorious Federation. At last, Central Siberia has been unified under our authority, with our rivals in the region vanquished and their loyalties scattered, forced into hiding or exile. However, for the continued success of our Federation, much work remains to be done. First, there is the matter of consolidating our gains by integrating the new territories more closely and securing our boundaries. Then we must consider how to stabilize our rule and satisfying the people and hopes of restoring law, order, and stability, so that is desperately needed. Many problems remain, but beyond them lies a bright future for the Federation. Comrades, unlike the assholes that run Siberia, I will not lie to you. The truth is simple. So simple, I don't need any fancy language to explain it to you. It's a truth any Russian child knows. There is something wrong with those who lead. You all know the kind of men I'm talking about. Those that promise safety, promise prosperity, promise... What don't they promise? They've been doing it ever since the Great Patriotic War. Now when our country lies in ruins and our people scrounge for dirt, what do our leaders take? What action do our leaders take? They promise. I, for one, am sick of the promises, sick of the lies, sick of the barbarism. So right here, right now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not your leader, and I never intend to be. I'm simply a man, as you are, who wishes for the cruelty to stop. We have an opportunity now to forge a new Russia, one where each man is truly his equal. One without leaders. To get it, we will have to fight. However, the men of Central Siberia have nothing to lose. It is we who keep production flowing, us who ensure their bullets, bread, and steel arrives on time. The names of all the dead children, all the widows, all the crippled sons. To hell with their promises. Can't you all calm down? Uh-oh. Harrowing news has been relayed from Novosibirsk. From what information we can gather, there seems to be an armed fighting underway in the city, led by the same workers who have been on strike for weeks, protesting for fair wages and treatment. Unfortunately, it seems their dissatisfaction with the current situation has reached a breaking point, with shouts transforming into the roaring embers of revolution. Fortunately for us, support of his workers' revolt appears to be few and far between, and the glorified militia looks to be more of a mob than an army. Nevertheless, these armed militias still control the industrial capacity in a large population center over Novosibirsk. We should treat this rapidly escalating situation with caution. Are there not more important issues in the city? Ooh. Hold on, we'll go ahead and scrap this order since we're here already. Luxuries such as tea and coffee were once rare commodities during the chaos of the late 50s and early 60s, only available to those with both money and connections and utterly out of reach for most of the population. However, as Russia stabilized, access to the global economy has drastically improved, and now the once rare commodities are being imported in increasingly large amounts: chocolate, fruits, foreign wines, and of course coffee and tea. Now, access to caffeinated beverages is no longer a luxury restricted to the privileged few, but an increasingly common, if still pricey, drink of choice for many of our citizens. A toast to our future success. Wonderful. So we'll just go after the red flag, guys. Who do they have? Yep, Kostin. And with that, they're dead. That was so underwhelming, Jesus. How's our Siberian plan? Bit of consumer goods. It's not the best, honestly. So it's a little bit underwhelming. But, what are you gonna do? The Revolution Internal, that's a Sochem guy, I believe. Batch production methods. The diesel engine of a tank whined fiercely as it raced along the makeshift barricade. A few workers still on top, running in all directions as the vehicle charged from down the city streets. Dozens of well-placed shots from foes behind the machine prevented any sort of reaction. A loud crash and a hailstorm of scattered debris. The armored vehicle smashed through the barricade, soon followed by the men of the All-Siberian army. Rifles and machine guns spat fire in all directions, scattering those who remained. A ballad of chaos and death, a routine that Corporal Ivanov was all too familiar with. Several dozen bodies already marked the dust and rubble, almost certain to be joined by more as the rebels fled into disarray. For other talk, factory workers and technicians were no match for professional soldiers, and the fragment of Kostin's native rebellion was no different. Just crushing the rabble. Let's go ahead and appoint some new governors. Although the practice of appointing military governors was a fresh new territories has served us well, it was intended to be a temporary measure due to the fragile nature of the situation we're in. Now that we're in a more secure position, it's finally time to make good on our promise to remove them and appoint new ones in their place to aid the integration into the Federation of New Lands, as well as a restoration of stability and reduction for popular unrest. We'll go ahead and start that up, and I'll do another minute. I'm actually going to call it a bit early. Ooh, Spear's doing okay. Oh, good. I say that, now he's starting to lose a bit. Well, actually, he could pull this off. There we are. No, yeah, they're actually doing okay, all things considered. Los Haspia. And yeah, I think with that, we'll call it a bit early, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, go and leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you want to see more of this content in the future, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for more uploads every weekday, as well as every Saturday. If you have any comments, feedback, anything of the sort, leave in the comment section below. I read all the comments I get and appreciate any feedback you might have for me. If you want to watch me do this sort of stuff live, I have a Twitch. If you want to chat or play games, I have a Discord. And if you want to send a few bucks my way every month, I have a Patreon. All of which are down in the description box below. Thanks as always for watching, ladies and gentlemen. My name has been Dogwood333. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.